Hello. All right, we're off to our third method of solving a system of equations. This one sounds pretty epic. Elimination. Okay, so why the heck do we need a third way to solve a system of equations? Didn't we already figure this thing out? Okay, when we started off, we had two equations that were in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so that means we could graph them, find out where they cross. Boom, we got the solution, we're all done. The drawback of that method is that what if the point where they cross isn't exact? Or maybe, you know what, when we draw our line, it just kind of is a little wonky, doesn't really hit in the right spot. Okay, we're going to avoid that using either substitution or elimination. Okay, if substitution gives us an exact answer, why the heck do we have to learn elimination? Well, with substitution, one of our four variables didn't have a number in front of it. Okay, so the coefficient was 1. In this situation here, all four of our variables have a coefficient in front, so we're going to have to try this new epic method called elimination. All right, so to get started, we're going to start off like we would substitution, number them off. Here's where it changes though. So in the previous way of doing things, you try to get a variable all by itself. Here, we're going to try to get a matching coefficient. Okay, what's a coefficient? Coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So we're going to do this thing here. Kind of bear with me, follow along, ask a bunch of questions when you need to, because we're trying our new method here. With elimination, we're going to multiply entire equations by a number. So in our first one, we can multiply by whatever number we like. But our goal is to get whatever numbers in front of a variable to match one of these two. So we could get the y's to match by multiplying the top one by a 5 and the second one by a 3 to get 15. It's kind of a harder way to do it, so I'm going to choose an easier way. What if we multiply that entire first equation by 3? So that would give us 6x, negative 9y, and negative 36. Okay? I'm going to leave this second equation exactly how it is. We've got 6x plus 5y is negative 8. All right, so here's where this new kind of strategy comes into play here. Now that we've kind of accomplished our first goal, you know what, I've got a 6 in front of both of those x's. I'm pretty happy about that. We are going to choose whether we need to add or subtract these equations to make our x's coefficient equal to 0. Okay? So if I were to add these two equations, 6x plus 6x, that would give me 12x. It's not helpful. I want to make it 0. So I need to subtract these two equations. So 6x minus 6x is 0x, which is nothing. Negative 9y minus 5 is going to be negative 14y. Negative 36 minus negative 8. Here we're subtracting a negative. That double negative really means we're adding. So negative 36 plus 8 is going to be negative 28. So starting at negative 36, we get 8 closer to 0 to get to negative 28. Now we've got ourselves a nice easy equation. So if I want to get just y and divide both sides by negative 14, y is equal to 2. All right, pretty quick. We're not done. Remember, just like the other two methods, we're not done until we have an x and a y. So I'm looking at these two equations, kind of like that first one. So I'm going to take y equals 2, our first equation. only because I kind of like these small numbers. No other reason. I'm going to sub it back into that equation. So we're going to have 2x minus 3. Here we're going to put in our y value equals negative 12. So we have 2x minus 6 equals negative 12. When solving an equation, got to get rid of that addition and subtraction first. So we have 2x is equal to negative 12 plus 6. And we got 2x equals negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. Almost done. And we've got ourselves x is equal to negative 3. Okay, a lot of work going on here. We had to get a matching coefficient. So we had to multiply the top or the bottom equation by a number. Here we were able to get our x's to match with the 6 out in front. We add or subtract the equations to get one of them equal to 0. Then we solve the equation, sub it into one of our original equations to get the other value. Lots of stuff going on here. This part right here, we do the exact same thing when we're doing substitution. So hopefully this looks a little bit familiar. All right, so what have we found? The solution is negative 3 and 2. Okay, so if we were to graph these two lines, that's the exact point where they would cross. So here's our third method, elimination. Ask a bunch of questions. This stuff is kind of weird the first time you see it. Once you do a few of them, you kind of get into the pattern. Check out all those steps that I posted on our lesson. You can use those to help you along the way. All right, good work, class. Thanks for sticking with me till the end here.